On the east side, there were 3 gates, the gate of Joseph, Benjamin, and Dan. And on the south side, the 3 gates, one for Simeon and Issachar and Zebulun. And on the west side, 3 gates, the gate of Gad and Asher and Naphtali. And it was round about 18,000 measures, the circumference. And the name of the city from that day shall be Jehovah Shammah. The Lord is there, the city of God, the New Jerusalem. This was the city probably that Abraham was looking for in Hebrews chapter 8. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out to a place which he should afterwards receive as an inheritance, he obeyed and he went out, not knowing where he was going. But by faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tents with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. For he looked for a city which hath foundation, whose builder and maker is God. And so he sees this great city, the gates, the 12 gates, the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. On the east, 3 gates, the north, 3 gates, south and the west, 3 gates, 12 in all. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations. He looked for a city which hath foundation, whose maker and builder is God. And on the foundations are the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. Now, I'm going to be curious to find out if the name is Matthias or the name is Paul on one of those foundations. Paul was sort of the pick by casting lots, not necessarily God's choice, but Paul said he was an apostle by the will of God, and I'm sort of voting for Paul. I'm not taking bets because I don't believe in betting, but when we get there, we'll see if Paul's name is one of the names on the 12 foundations of this city. The wall, the city lies 4 square. So he gave me this golden reed to measure the city, the gates and the wall. The city was 4 square. That is, the length was as large as the breadth, and he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs, and the length and the breadth and the height of it were equal. So it is sort of a cube of 12,000 furlongs, and a furlong is 582 feet. So the city is about 1,500 miles cubed. Now, this is an interesting concept in that the city is a cube. When we have our new bodies, we will probably experience more than just the 3 dimensions that we know now. And being cubed, it may be possible that we can live in different levels of the city. It's 1,400 or 1,500 miles, across either way. But being cubed, maybe, if each, say, story was a mile high, you'd have 1,500 miles of 1,500 square feet. I mean, that would accommodate billions of people. And you'd have a lot of room. You wouldn't even have to be close to a neighbor. But I'm sure we will want to be. But the interesting thing is that it's possible that we'll be different dimension, and we can live vertically as well as horizontally in this new city. The city lies foursquare. The length is as large as the breadth, and the height are all equal. So he measured the wall, 144 cubits, which means it's about 216 feet high, and each one according to the measure of a man, that is, of the angel. A cubit is the distance between your elbow and the tips of your fingers. And so the 144 cubits would equal about 216 feet. So he describes now the wall. Verse 18, the building of the wall was of jasper. The city was pure gold, like unto clear glass. And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, the fourth was an emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, and the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprasus, and the 11th a jacinth, and the 12th an amethyst, and the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was one pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass. The first jasper, we've already described the jasper, an opaque quartz, usually red or yellow in color. The second, a sapphire. This stone is not mentioned anywhere else in the New Testament. It is a precious gem. It's next in hardness to a diamond, usually of an azure or sky blue color, but of various shades. Beautiful. The third, the chalcedony. This word occurs nowhere else in the New Testament. The stone is referred to as an uncrystallized, translucent variety of quartz, having whitish color and the luster nearly like wax. It's found covering the sides of the cavities in the deposit from filtered silicous waters. When it is arranged in layers, it's like an agate. The stripes are horizontal. Then the next, of course, is the carnelian, a deep red or reddish white color. And the name Chalcedony comes from Chalcedon, the town in Asia Minor, opposite to Byzantium and Constantinople, where this stone was probably first known. The fourth, an emerald, is green in color, of course, and in the fifth, the sardonyx, the sixth is sardis, the seventh is chrysolite, the eighth is beryl, ninth is topaz, 10th is chrysoprasus, and the 11th jacinth, the 12th amethyst. The sardonyx, a word does not occur elsewhere, but it is derived from the city of Sardis, a city in Asia Minor. The Lord addressed a message to that in Revelation chapter 3, verse 1. And it is so named, according to Pliny, from the resemblance of its color to the flesh, and it is, again, a silicous stone or gem, and it's closely allied to the onyx. The color is reddish and nearly orange. The sardis, this word does not appear in the New Testament, but it's also derived from sardis, probably the gem that was found there, the stone of red blood or flesh color, and commonly known as carnelian. The seventh, the chrysolite, and of course, it is derived from the crurus stone, and means the golden stone, applied